A beautiful afternoon to you and good day to you. Welcome to the program Parliament and Governance on Independent Television, Benin City. My name is Evan Sunokuge, and today on the program Parliament and Governance, we're going to be looking at what happened some few hours ago, maybe about some 18, 19 hours ago, talking about the Nigerian Senate passing a bill to curb the proliferation of small arms and light arms in the country. Well, you understand that the issue of insecurity in the country has been something that has been attracting attention from all and sundry internationally and even internally. And for the Nigerian Senate to put a bill now that, look, from any moment from now, there's going to be a national commission that will curb the way small and light arms are being owned in the country. One would say it's a good one, but the main issue is that to what extent is this bill really going to help to curb the ownership of small and light firearms in the country? That's one question on one hand. And another question on the other hand is that, is this not a reduplication of our constitution? Because if you go through the Nigeria's constitution, there's a part of the constitution that says that if you are not up to 18, you are not expected to own a gun. And if you must also own a gun, it must be a registered gun. So for some people, this move is good, but only to the extent that it's a reduplication of our constitution. Well, to discuss this afternoon, we are so privileged to have two eminent personalities here. We've got pharmacist Uyi Oriaki, who is a political analyst and also a public affairs analyst. Pharmacist, you're welcome to this program, Parliament and Governance.
Thank you, Evans, for having me.
All right, we also have the former ASU chairman, Uniben Chapter, Professor Julius E. Asele. Sir, you're welcome to the program, Parliament and Governance.
Thank you for having me, and good afternoon, viewers.
Okay. All right, so the bill a few days ago was actually headed by, was read on the floor of the Senate by a committee, and we understand that that committee was chaired by Abraham Gerbo, who is from Sokoto, APC Sokoto. He's from APC in Sokoto State. And we understand that the bill has various objectives. First and foremost, the bill is going to aim at combating the challenges associated with small arms and light weapons in Nigeria, in accordance with the United Nations treaties and also ECOWAS Convention on small and light weapons in the country. Then also, we also understand that the bill, if eventually we have an established commission that will curb the ownership of small and light arms, it will identify sources and routes of illicit trade of these weapons, enhance coordination and collaboration among ministries so that we can actually handle the way light and small weapons come into the country. And also, we also understand that it's going to function and also it's going to function as a commission now that will provide training for officers in identifying individuals that are involved in the illicit trade of small and light weapons in the country. All these objectives of this bill are so laudable. Eventually, when we do have a commission for this is what we're going to be having. And these are the objectives of the commission as we are going to be having in the country. Well, gentlemen, as we set a foundation for this discussion this afternoon, this day, the issue of insecurity in the country is very, very alarming. I mean, only a few days ago, we heard that some terrorists had to say that they want to kidnap the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And a few hours later, we heard about the guard, that was attacked. So now that we have a bill that has just been passed by the Senate, I think we want to say that is a right step in the right direction. I'll start with pharmacist Uyi Oriaki.
Well, Evans, a topic like this will cause us to heave some deep sighs because we're actually in a situation. The issue is this. This bill was drawn from recommendations made by the UN Treaty on small arm and what do you call it? Small arm and
light weapons.
Light weapons.
Yeah.
And also an ECOWAS convention. The question we want to ask ourselves is, why did we have to wait this long to have a commission like this? Because for over 10 years now, production of firearms has become the issue of the day in our country. When you watch the news, you look at the social media, week in, week out, you see acts of crime and violence, insurgency, banditry, and what have you. And it has been established from time immemorial that arms were coming into this country through means, illicit means, and they were being distributed, and persons were warning that, look, group of persons have piled up ammunition to fight what I would call a war in this country. Now we have gotten to this time, and this is being put in place. Now, you know, a commission right now, drawing strength maybe from the Constitution and some of the other provisions of the acts that will soon be signed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we would have been rejoicing. But the question is this intention really with a mind to curb the already very, very terrible situation that we have in this country? As we speak, firearms are everywhere in this country. If you see that this particular bill was in accordance with the UN Treaty and ECOWAS Convention, why did we wait for so long? Because it is contrived to help us liaise with neighboring countries, exchange intelligence information to see that arms do not get into our country the way they have filtered in the past, few years.
Okay, let me pause you. Now, Professor, we have the Constitution. The Constitution says that not until you get to a certain age, you are not supposed to own a gun. If you must own a gun, there are specifics, and it must be a registered one. So for us to want to have a special commission, is this not, some people say that is a kind of a reduplication of efforts, as we try to combat, insecurity in the country?
Reduplication, double standard, and call it any name. Is Nigeria not tired of making laws? Are we not tired of theorizing? What we have as a problem in this country, as it has always been, is in implementation. That is just it. We have this in our Constitution. The Constitution prescribes, individuals from owning
certain weapons,
guns,
yeah?
And even if you are not 18, a particular age, you can't carry arms and all that. And then, of course, the type you also carry is also with discretion and all that. So we have all this. Is it that it is in our Constitution and it is not domiciled in the various states and all that? That is one. Two, are we not tired of wasting our money and all that? Because you have the police, you have the DSS, you have now different...
The NCDC.
So
the
many.
NCDC, yeah.
And you are still trying to create another one. Did we use all of these before the Nigerian government got the militants to surrender their arms? You remember at the time, everybody was asked, if you have guns that you have, anything, come and surrender them, and maybe something was given in return to all of that. Did we have to make law? Did we have to use a commission before these people surrendered their arms? And then it became foolhardy for them when they now discovered that shortly after they surrendered all their guns, then we started hearing that even miniaturized human beings, the way then they call them headers and all that, move around with AK-47. Is that not bewildering and all that? Is this commission now going to help us to be able to retrieve our arms and ammunition that have been stolen or taken away from Nigerian army or wherever by the terrorists? Is it going to help us? If it is going to help us, then we should not give a nod to it. Otherwise, I think, wasteful venture, like it has, in most cases, has always been. My brother and the Nigerians, if you look at it, look at if terrorists if they were practicing before, right now, they are dancing. They come up to the stage. That is what we are seeing here. Somebody was saying somewhere yesterday that at 3 different occasions, they have threatened that they were going to do this. And they actually went out, they carried it out, they did it, and nothing has happened. The heavens have not fallen. And the immediate one to cite as an example is, they said they were going to release their colleagues in Kuje prison. As it were, the Nigerian government helped them further because we heard that there were military men withdrawn from these people struck. But what is intriguing is that this whole thing happened just about some hours after presidential aides who were going to Katsina, to meet the president, because it was Salah period. We attacked around somewhere in Dutsima and all that.
Anyway, Professor,
Yes.
that Kuje prison issue, we understand that investigations are ongoing.
Beautiful. Investigations everywhere.
Yeah.
Investigations anywhere. At the end of the day, excuse me, have we been able to, even around us here or what, have we been able to say these are the people who went into a church, a holy place, to desecrate it, to kill how many human beings? Have we? Okay, if we go back in time, a woman went out to preach in the morning, and life was snuffed out of her. Just went out in Abuja here. That was about 2, 3, or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Has anything happened? If we say, even the initial bombings in Abuja, have they come out to say these are the people who did it?
Okay.
So,
Now, pharmacist, the issue here is just like what we are trying to say, that the attention now is we should not have a reduplication, not to have a reduplication. That seems to be one major concern. Now, we saw the objectives a while ago that the proposed commission, if established, we understand that it's still a bill. Eventually, it's going to go through the presidential accent before we eventually now have a commission. But the big question we're trying to answer here is that at the end of the day, this commission, is it going to be reporting to the conventional security agencies that we have, such as the Nigeria Police Force, the NSCDC, or is it going to be the other way around? I mean, let's begin to look at some of these issues so that at the end of the day, we're not going to be having, because what we have here is that the commission, if established, we identify sources and routes of illicit trade of small and medium arms weapons. The sources and routes, that's the channel at which they come through the country. And that has to do with our territorial borders, where we have the customs and all that. So at the end of the day, are we going to be having a situation whereby this commission will be reporting to the conventional security outfits on the ground, or the other way around?
No, I don't see so. You see the National Defense Corps, they don't report to the police, do they?
No, they
They
don't.
don't. They don't. It's just like that. They are going to create it. They have given them functions spelled out in the bill that is about to be signed if the president will give it an assent. And they are meant actually to begin to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies so that as they perform their duties. And also, if the UN treaty and the ECOWAS convention is to be brought to bear, they are also to relate with neighboring countries who have such
ECOWAS nations.
ECOWAS nations who have such, so that because we do not produce those arms and weapons in this country. They are sent from outside and all of that. But it has the police have a special unit that's ordinarily should take care of this kind of situation. Now, they are creating it again. Just like Prof said, this duplication, is it really with the intention of addressing the terrible security situation that we have on ground? Sometimes you will just be forced to think that some person just contrives some things to create job for some people, so that they create job for their kings and their kids and kings and all that. They have, they have conjured it. Where do we place these people? They also have people they have, marked to man these bodies, so that they will take the credit for creating jobs for their brothers and sisters. So that's justice. Like the National Defense Corps that we have in this country today. It is difficult for the average Nigerian to decipher what their roles are as separate from what the roles of the police are. At the time they said they were to take care of government properties here and there and all that. But you see, they are even put to use in other ways right now. And the roles are interrelated. You will not know. Anybody can just go and pick these defense people and say, come and guide us when we are having these occasions and stuff like that. So, to me, these people are not really serious. Because we are not having problems because we don't have excellent laws to take care of the situation. We are just having problems because we are a people that are not faithful. We are not faithful to the cause of nation building. We are not faithful to the cause of nation building. It still beats my imagination that for lack of what to do, they just began to bring this up to distract everybody. Because
all right, Professor, we know that sometime about last 2 years or so, the need for us to have an established National Peace Corps was also, very much discussed. And as a matter of fact, that bill almost died a natural death. We didn't see the light of that bill. But here now, we're having a commission on the verge of coming into a lifeline. So don't you think that we should go back perhaps to the basis? I mean, we have an ordinary established, if you like, security architecture, security agencies, National Peace Corps, and so on and so forth. So do we really need this commission, as a matter of fact?
I don't think, except if it's an avenue to create jobs for people. That is just it. Fair. You remember they had said they were going to create about 2 million or 2,000 jobs.
We're talking about security of lives.
I'm coming now.
Yeah.
It's a way of creating jobs. The people look for. There are leakages in different areas in this country. And so if that is an easy way to create jobs for some persons, like my colleague, co-discussant has said here, maybe somebody had just identified that, one of my brother is lying down there and all, they are not doing anything. We need to get something for him. Or I read physics taught me a scalar quantity or a vector quantity. A vector quantity is a quantity with magnitude and direction. Scalar has magnitude, no direction. If this is another vector quantity, maybe it's another way of creating Operation Python dance. This group is going to be created, and attention giving terms of reference of what they are going to do. Maybe to house some sessions or some persons to, down. Maybe that is it. Because otherwise, why not let it go? Like you have said, there's a security architecture in this country. No matter, people have been crying that the number of policemen in Nigeria available to police every area of this country is highly inadequate.
Grossly.
So
that is what people have been saying.
So don't you think the Senate is on the right page now? We're saying that security.
Why are they creating another commission?
But you just said a while ago that the number of policemen are inadequate.
Why not bring in more policemen? So because you have an organized system already with the police. You have offices already. You understand? The AIG's office, you have different divisions. Now, if you are creating another commission, you are going to provide money to start building all over again. Create offices, different things, and at the end of the day, you would have heard that billions of naira would have been frittered away in the course of trying to establish that. You see how wasteful we are in this country. Remember that we have even vigilante here.
I wanted to say that.
People are asking, why not now localize the police force.
Fund them.
So that the job can be done very, very easily. But instead of that, you are trying to create. That is how FRC was
established.
Yeah.
NSCDC.
Yes. You have, no, if you look at, you have what they call this arm of these people that vehicle inspection, VIO.
The VIO.
They are still there. You will ask yourself, what is the difference between the VIO
and the road safety corps
and the road safety corps?
And the regular police traffic
And you have you have the policemen that wear yellow top, the traffic policemen. Just about 3 different handling the same. In the same way you have NAFDAC, you have SOS. Those who are always on their neck.
Now, Professor,
so
the question we want to ask here is that it is the establishing of these units that is wrong in itself, or the way Nigerians go about it all? If we have the FRS, the FRS you talked about,
yes,
the regular traffic units of the police force, and of course we have the VIO and all that. Yes. Now we still have traffic issues in this country. So yes, what do you think is the issue?
The issue is implementation, and then anywhere, in fact, anywhere you have such, I call it an overload, then there will be confusion. When you cannot define a job for a group of people, then it's possible, confusion is imminent. That is what we are seeing here. So nobody knows, no job description. And so you now go doing anything you like. You wake up in the morning and start doing anything you like. So what is supposed to happen? When I started, I talked about implementation and all that. That is the problem. All these are all supposed to be under the police force, and you have different divisions under the police force.
All right, now pharmacists, let's take our mind back to what happened recently in the U.S. as we plan to end the show today. Now, the U.S. also has its own toll of the issue. Recently, we saw the House of Representatives in the U.S., trying to pass in a law, as a matter of fact, that the age limit from 18, it has to be increased to 20, 25 and all that for you to own a gun. Now, all these are products from the Senate, from the legislature and all that. So if we have the Nigerian legislature this time trying to establish a commission that probably will look at the way firearms come into this country, who eventually owns the firearm, do you think this venture is a time wasted after all?
It is time wasted. Now, one, in the U.S., legislation on these issues from state to state, they present a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some states where guns are totally prohibited. There are some states where guns are allowed to an extent with some bit of regulation. So those who have guns allowed, but with a bit of regulation, they will begin to tinker with the mode of regulations to ensure that public safety is strictly adhered to. Okay, but here, we know that the ordinary citizen is not even allowed to own gun when you are over 18 unless it is like, and there are specific kinds of guns.
The president told us last year that nobody should own the AK-47.
Yes, and there are these
all these boys are carrying around.
Yes, there are these small arms like shotgun,
double
barrels and all that.
That can shoot only once.
Yes, but for personal use and all that, you don't carry it about.
As hunters.
Yes, in the US, they carried them, but it was a problem to them. Now here, the majority, the general are peaceful people. They are not even interested in delving into all this. We don't have problems like this. Now, those who were involved are armed robbers in the time past. Now we have the insurgents and all of those. So these people, we have allowed them to, constitute themselves so much into great problems that even bringing this law at this time, we are living in a situation where people have lost faith in the government. That must be taken into consideration. They have lost faith in the government. Even when the government has very, very wonderful this thing now, nobody is really looking at it from that perspective.
We have to pause it there because of time factor. So it's only a bill. It is not a law yet. So it's going to go through the presidential consideration. And the president will also have to look at it. So maybe perhaps the president may not even sign it, or the president will sign it. So until then, we may have cause to come back here so that we can look at this bill one more time. I want to say a very big thank you to pharmacist Uyi Oriaki for finding time to come on the show today, and also Professor Julius Iyasene for finding time to come. The protesting professor.
Quite frankly, let me tell Nigerians we don't actually need guns.
But we have
to secure, a sane society.
Yeah, but we have to secure lives and properties in this country.
The Nordic country where education is number one. You don't carry guns. If you cross the border here, Cotonou here, the policemen there use whistle, and people obey.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for finding time to come on the program today. That's the program, Parliament and Governance, where we look at the activities of the Nigerian legislature, how it affects governance in the country. My name is Evan Sunukuge. Until the same time, goodbye, and God bless you.
We'll read out the names.